Well, congratulations, you made it to week 3. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of week 3. So go ahead and go to module 3 and click on objectives and due dates. So take some time to read the information that I have right here for you. The biggest thing I want you to know is that for discussion assignments, I only grade the first submission. So if you are going to submit something, be prepared. That's what I'm going to read. Okay, so just make sure you read the directions so you can make sure you are submitting what you want me to evaluate. All right, so at the bottom, we actually have the information that you're looking for. What are the due dates? So, reading response number 3 is going to be due on Sunday, the 25th. You have a class discussion that's due on Tuesday. You have another opportunity to identify the correct main point, and if you get it right, you get extra credit. Now, remember, it is a required assignment, it is not extra credit only. It's only extra credit if your submission is correct. And the most important assignment for this week, by Sunday, the 25th, you need to submit essay number 1. All right, excellent. Let's move on to the next page in Module 3. All right, so let's click on the reading selections for week 3. And when we click on that, we will see that we have The Neurology of Free Will by Charles Duhigg, which I think is one of the most interesting reading selections that we have this semester. Grit by Angela Duckworth. And there's a secret to that. Hopefully, you'll figure that out really quickly. And the last one is Prudence and Cruelty. So I strongly recommend that you print these articles out and you annotate talking to the text as you're reading. All right. The next item, grammar videos. Now, some of you have expressed a need to review your grammar, and I made these videos a few years ago, and I wanted you to have access to them. You can watch them as many times as you need to, and they will remediate some of the questions that you may have in terms of comma usage, when you should use a comma, a semicolon, and things of that nature. So go ahead and look at those, and hopefully they can help you with writing your essay. You have a grammar discussion that is going to be due on Tuesday of next week, and it is in regard to the Duhigg, Duckworth, and Kristoff reading. So you'll need to have completed the reading on all 3 of the reading selections before you submit this assignment. Now, the interesting thing about this discussion is that it's asking you to write what you thought was the most compelling or interesting. It says, in addition, this paragraph should be at least 9 sentences. So according to the directions, it says, please refer to your annotations, your notes, from your reading selections. And it says that this paragraph should be at least 9 sentences long, 3 sentences for each selection. Okay, so you're writing a 9-sentence paragraph for the first part of this discussion. Number 2, it says, in addition, how did this week's reading selection address what people believe about free will, achieving goals, and addressing poverty? And it says this time the paragraph needs to be at least 6 sentences long. Okay, this is very specific. All right, and then the last thing you have to do, number 3, it says reply to 2 of your classmates. Your replies cannot be I agree or I disagree. I'm really glad you wrote that. I thought some of the same things. What I would like for you to do is say something in at least 3 sentences about the content of what your classmates have said. And you'll need to post your comments before, actually, you'll have to post your first part, which is part 1 and 2, before you can see part 3. Okay, so anyone who submits a blank, I guess, submission so that you can see someone else's writing, will get a 0 on that part simply for the fact that you did not submit the first part, which is required for the assignment. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, once again, the identification of the main point, and this time you're looking at the neurology of free will. Now, for those of you who chose the wrong reading assignment last week, I gave you grace and allowed you to get an evaluation for the wrong reading response. That will not happen this week. You'll need to make sure that you respond to the correct reading selection for this assignment. All right, so go ahead and take your time and look at the neurology of free will, and then you'll be able to submit the correct main point for that. Awesome. Okay. What's next? Your reading response. Your reading response will be due on the 25th of June, and it's going to require you to write 2 paragraphs with at least 8 sentences each. Here is the format that you'll need to follow for paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. And if you can notice, this would be the identification of the main point for 1 article. This is the format if you were writing 3. So I don't know if you can notice, but I probably should change the highlight so that you can see that what I've done is given you an example of how to write a paragraph with 3 identifications of the main point. And so if you look closely, and I'm going to change this after this video so that this last one will be in a different color so you can clearly see this is 1, 2, and 3. So go ahead and follow the format that I have here, and then make sure you submit paragraph 1 and paragraph 2 before 11:59 Sunday evening. You can certainly turn it in early, but you can't turn it in after the due date. Okay, and for those of you who have questions about reading response, you can make an appointment with me to meet with me in Zoom on Wednesday during my office hour time, or you can go to the reading response help page, which is in week 1 or week 2 of your module. All right, let's move to the next thing for this week. And I created for you essay number 1 help page, which I think will help you if you take the time to read each of the items that I have. In the help page, I have questions that you can use for your final draft. I have a sample intro paragraph. I also have content with sample topic sentences so you can make sure your topic sentences are correct. I have a sample body paragraph for you to look at. And then I have other questions for you to look at to make sure you are on the right track when you turn in your essay number 1. I also have an example of the MLA format, what your essay should look like in terms of the format for your essay number 1. So all I have for you is the like your name, my name. You would type English 100, your section number, the date that it's due. You will have a header with your last name and the page number. Make sure you have a title. Don't use my title. Make your own title. And then you're going to have your intro paragraph, and then you'll have several body paragraphs. And so what I have here is just more notes for you to utilize so that you'll know what you need to do. Ultimately, I want you to make sure that essay number 1 is at least 3 full pages, which means that your essay will probably go to page 4 because you're adding your concluding paragraph. So if you have questions about essay number 1, please use this help page. And if you still have questions, please contact me. I'll be happy to assist you. And then lastly, I'm introducing the research paper. So I don't want you to freak out or get, nervous about it. But this is something you definitely want to look at and start reading these articles before the end of the semester. And there are 4 articles that I have available for you to read. And you'll need to find 2 more articles for a total of 6 articles for the research paper. And I do have resources available for you to help you understand what the research paper is about. Now, even though we don't have a dedicated librarian for our course, you can call the library and they would be happy to assist you with this project. Okay, and lastly, we have congratulations, you made it to the end of week 3. You've turned in essay number 1, you've turned in your second reading response. I'm just proud of you. You're doing it. So have a wonderful, wonderful week 3. Let me know what I can do to help.